Hello and welcome back to another edition of Mill Creek Range. Benji here with you, and just sort of wanted to go over my little journey of getting started reloading ammo. And I know some of you may reload your own, and some of you may be looking at getting into reloading. I started my journey about 10 years ago, and I started on the cheap. You don't have to start out with the biggest and baddest press that money can buy. Myself, I start out small, make sure that I'm comfortable with it, and then move on from there. Uh, I probably load now for probably 80% of all the calibers that I shoot, and especially the ones I shoot the most of. But I started out with just one. Actually, the first one I started out with was 44 mag. And so I'm going to sort of walk you through how I got started. And not saying that this is the same method and pathway that you should take, but it is a way, a economical way to get started with very little tools, and you don't have to have a lot of space to do it as well. So we will, I'll bring the camera down, put it inside of a position so you can see a little bit closer, and we'll get started. Enjoy. Okay, what I got started with when I started reloading, I went with the Lee loader. It's not a press. It's basically these components right here. You get this here, this mechanism here, sizes, and also crimps your case. This tool here actually flares the case mouth for the projectile. This tool here, it's used for seating or installing the primer, as well as for seating the projectile, your bullet, to the to your desired depth into the cartridge. This tool here is used for decapping, depriming, and this tool here is actually used for decapping, depriming as well. And then we have our powder, our little powder cup. I use them not as in, they're in cc's. This one here is a 1.6 cc. I'm not sure if this is actually the one that came with this this little kit or not. I have them for 44 mag. I have them for 4570. I also have them for 38 special, 357, and I believe I have one more. I'm not. Oh yeah, I do. 45 Colt. Yeah, so I have four of them, and then this tool here is used for installing the primer, and then also for extracting the case out of this this die here. So it's a pretty neat little kit, and basically you just need these components. You need a hammer. I went ahead and bought my scale, but I also used this this Frankfurt digital scale as well. I've been using it since day one, and I've had very good success with it. I have my calipers, again, some just specific tools. I have my case lube. Okay, do need to lubricate the cases before resizing them. And I have my primers. I have my projectiles. You know, a few little tools here and there, but it is minimum amount. What I started out with is loading with unique powder. It's kind of a universal powder. Started loading my 44 mag with it, and very good success with it. And you can go as big and as extravagant as that you'd like. I also have a couple of the Lee powder throws, so when I'm doing a lot, I instead of versus dipping my powder and weighing it, I'll just use my throws and get them set where they're throwing a good, steady, consistent charge. I've stepped up to a single stage press. I haven't went with a progressive. I mean, I don't load a ton, but I have loaded as many, as 500 rounds at a time. But I have my method, my means and method of doing it, sort of like a little production assembly line. So I can do them fairly quickly, and I know they're all done precisely. And for me, I'm satisfied with a single stage press for time being. Maybe later on I might step up to a progressive press for something like 9mm 45 ACP, but right now the amount of shooting that I do, a single stage works fine. I actually have two of them. I have this one, and then I have another one that I have setting up across there. It's actually set up for decapping, so I have a universal decapping die in it. And also, when I was shooting a lot of 45 ACP, I also used that press just for loading 45 ACP. Not sure why I just did. I just like to using it. But back on topic here, this is what I got started with, is the Lee loader. And it's a very simple operation. And give me just a minute, and we will get started, and we'll load up about 4 rounds. Just show you the simplicity of this little system. Okay, so first thing first, you want to deprime your casing. So you take your little decapping tool here, and you take it and you set your case down inside of it. Then you take your decapping pin, place it down, find the hole, and then just take your hammer. Again, very simple. Drive out the spent primer and then throw it away. Now you have your cases all deprimed. Now, if you wanted to, you could take a tool and clean out the primer pocket. Now, these are actually already cleaned. And I clean my cases. Actually, when I first started out, I started out by wet tumbling. I started out using pins to wet tumble. I just went, Harbor Freight Tools got me one of the single barrel rock tumbler kits. I actually have 2 of them now. And I started out with pins, stainless steel pins, a little bit of Lemmy Shine water, and the pins, and a little bit of Dawn dishwashing detergent, and about a half hour to hour, brass was super clean. And then take it out, separate the pins from the brass, then lay out the brass onto a towel, especially out inside of the sun or up over a heater, and let the brass dry, and then you got good clean brass. I actually went up to a step and went from pins to stainless steel chips. There's a company inside of Georgia called Southern Shine Media. If you're up on Facebook, you can find them. But I love the stainless steel chips. They clean much better. If you're cleaning cases such as 223, 556, the pins will get jammed up inside of the cases. The pins will get jammed up inside of the primer pockets. The chips just fall straight out. So I've been probably using the chips for probably 7 or 8 years now. So these are 4 cleaned cases, and we'll get started with the loading process. So the first thing that you want to do is I take a little bit of the case lube just on the end of my finger, and just run a little bit around the top edge of each case. I'm going to size. A little bit goes a long way, and but I'm only going to do 4. Okay, got those lubricated up. Now we're going to size and load. So we'll start out with the first one. Going to drop our case into the gauge. Then we're going to take our hammer and we're going to, what this is doing is sizing the case. Now we have the case size. Now we're going to prime it. So we're going to take our priming tool. We're going to get us a primer. And again, you should be using some type of published load data for your loading. So you don't just go and use any type of component, any type of powder. Go with published load data. And I recommend you start on the lower end and work your way up. And don't go past what's the published maximum. So go in till we're seated. So we can see how that now our primer is seated. Now, one thing I learned early on, I may not get the primer seated flush, and working through a revolver, that's going to jam up the wheel. So make sure that you get your primer flush with the bottom of the case. So now that we have the primer in, we can now remove the case from the resizing die. So now we've got our case removed. We're going to place that back in there, and then we're going to go ahead and place our case back up over the top here. And now we're ready to throw powder. So I want to get my scale turned on. Let it tear out, and then we're going to I'm going to go with 10 grain of Unique. That's 5.4, and then we're going to go to 10, or just about 10. 8, 9, 4, 6, 7, 10. Okay, so we have 10 grain, and then if I wanted to verify that, I could use my Lee powder measure. I've already got it set for 10 grains. Now with our little cups, just always good to have a reference to work off of. So we're right on the money there, 10 grains. So now we're ready to pour our powder into our case. Have that, and I've got to get me a bullet. And I didn't think to get them out before I got started, but I have them right here close by. I'm using these Missouri Bullet, the Missouri Bullet Company. They're 44 smashers. They're 0.430 diameter. They're 240 grains in weight, and these are them. And we'll go ahead and place this bullet into the case here, and then I have already got my tool set for the appropriate depth, and I'm going somewhere at 1.645 inches. So we'll go ahead and place that down. Oh, about to forget, I didn't do one thing. I didn't expand the case mouth. Got ahead of myself. So we can go ahead and expand the case mouth. So with expanding the case mouth, we're going to take this tool, place it on top of the brass, and then we're going to come on down, and now we have that top of that case mouth expanded. I got my cart in front of my horse there. Okay, no worries. As long as you realize the step that you left off before you proceeded on. Okay, now we're ready to seat the bullet. Now my tool is on top of the bullet. Now we're just going to seat that bullet down into the case. And now that is into the case. Now let's check with our caliper and verify what our length of our assembly is. And we are 1.6435. So Good. Now we have that done. Now we're ready to crimp. Turn it over. Turn the tool over, and then this is our crimping die. Now we have a nice, good crimp. And now that projectile is a finished projectile ready to shoot. Okay, let's do a few more. Let me see, hopefully I won't forget a step. Again, it doesn't take as long. I mean, it is a slower process, but just again, simple, easy peasy. Take that out. Once you get going, you get you a routine down, and then everything starts going like clockwork. Now we're ready now again for powder. Five, 7. Well, there's a little bit. I went 10-3. Didn't want to go that far. I can go with like 10-1 or so, but I didn't really want to go 10-3. I mean, I could. Okay, 10. Now we're ready to dump our powder over. Take our projectile, place it in. Take our tool. Again, I've done preset this, so your first time loading, you're going to, I always stressed to start out long and then slowly dial this out until you're at your desired depth. Once you get that desired depth set, lock this gnarled nut down, and then this will not move. And then you'll have a better chance of always coming up with the same length each time. Again, we have that all set. Let's just verify this. So we're 1.646. Okay, let's do 2 more. Get us a primer. Whoa, look at there. Drop one. I'll be on my hands and knees trying to find that, because we know how them primers are. They are expensive. Can't lose them. No siree. So I guess I'll just be loading 3. Okay. Now we're ready to pop this one here back out. Now we're ready to open up the case mouth. Very good. Place that back on. Let's go with the powder charge. Remember, we're going for 10. 10 grain. 8-3. Oh, man, that went fast. Went 10-4. 9-7. 10-1. Happy with that. Okay, now we're ready to put our projectile on. Place this on top. Okay, flip it around. Now we'll put our crimp on. Check her. 1.653. So that's 3. I'm not going to get down and find the I think I see it there up on the floor, but this is 3 loaded bullets, projectiles, cases, whatever that you want to call them. 3 rounds of 44 mag ammo loaded with no press. Just some simple hand tools, a hammer. You need a good striking surface. I've even seen some guys use like a 2x6 in their lap, sitting inside of a motel room loading up ammo on weekends. Again, you don't need a big old press. This is what I use to get started. Very simple process. I think you can probably get these online. I'm thinking I've got most of mine off of eBay, $40 or so a set. You can even used to be able to get them even for a shotgun. I don't know if you still can, but again, really simple, neat little tool. You could actually throw it inside of a backpack if you needed to, and load out inside up on the trail if you really wanted to. But again, easy way of getting started loading good quality ammo. This is what I got started with before I moved up to a single stage press. And hey, this is probably the first time I've used these in several years, but I've got them if I ever need them, if the need ever rises. And again, I just need a good quality scale, powder, a way to measure my powder out. I need this kit. I need good clean brass primers, projectiles. Again, the powder that's going to be recommended for the ammo that I'm loading. Your case lube, very important here, to lubricate the cases, and a book, some loading data. For the projectile, for the ammo that you're going to be loading. Again, need to use published load data. And keep a record. Keep a record of every load that you do. Like I said, mine go back here all the way to October 2013. So it's really, well, it won't be long. It'll be approaching 10 years that I've started my loading journey, and I've got every single load that I've done. Again, I've not been no massive loader, but I've loaded a lot of different rounds. Now I am actually gone a step further, and I'm actually started casting some of my own projectiles, especially for my 44 WCF. So have fun with it, learn all that you can, and be safe. Safety, again, you're dealing with small explosives with those primers. Make sure that you're wearing some type of good glasses. Gloves could probably be used. Again, be safe. Think about what that you're doing. Don't get in a big rush. And if you mess up, I would say invest in yourself a bullet puller. You may have to pull some and start all over again. Again, it doesn't take a massive amount of tools, but again, here and there, you start to accumulate little tricks of the trade, and before long, you'll be loading up good quality ammo. Hope you've enjoyed this. Just sort of take you through my journey of getting started, of loading my own ammo, and how that I've had fun with it. And again, it's nothing like loading your own and then going out and then unloading it. Unloading it is much funner than loading. So, hope y'all have enjoyed this episode of Mill Creek Range. Hopefully, we'll come back pretty soon, and we'll be shooting some of these rounds here through the 44 mag Super Blackhawk. I'll be hopefully doing a video up on it in the next few weeks. Y'all have a good day. Keep your powder dry. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on down the trail.